Evening. Welcome to Beginners Academy. We meet every week on Zoom, and every other week we try to have a topic. And since Winter Field Day is coming up, we're going to talk about the N3FJP logger for Winter Field Day and FLDIGI for doing PSK31, which is a digital mode popular for Winter Field Day. And the rules for Winter Field Day are at winterfieldday.org. And it takes place on the last full weekend of January. This for 2026, it's January 24th and 25th. And it starts at 11 a.m. EST on Saturday and ends at 4:59 EST on Sunday the 25th. And this provides a total of 30 hours. And it's a popular event uh, with a focus on emergency communications. But it's similar to ARRL Field Day. So there's a whole lot of participation and a lot of fun also. A couple of weeks ago, we did a talk about Winter Field Day in total, and we called it Heads Up for Winter Field Day. You can find that on the Panama City Amateur Radio Club website, which is w4ryz.org. They also have a YouTube channel, so the video is available if you want to get the big picture for Winter Field Day. But tonight we're going to drill down. Oops. Well, and let's see. Okay. Well, a curious thing about Winter Field Day is FT8 is not allowed. And that's because, in the opinion of the Winter Field Day organization, they don't think it can effectively pass emergency traffic. So unlike ARRL Field Day, it's not allowed, but there is a digital mode. Well, any digital mode that you could pass the exchange is allowed. One of those is PSK31. So we'll be hitting on that tonight. And here's what PSK31 looks like on, and it's one of the many modes you can do with FLDIGI. It's free software, and so this is just an example screen. So it's kind of a mode where you can pretty much type anything you'd like to communicate. You can also use macros that kind of can messages, particularly for a contest that's useful. But it's a little different than FT8. It's very much similar, but a difference is it does have a waterfall. But if you want to decode a station and communicate with them, you click on their track on the waterfall. Okay. And when I transitioned to FT8, I was looking for that, but they don't have that concept. It doesn't carry over. And but anyway, So if you click on a track, it will start decoding them, and then when they break, you can uh, uh, answer them, send them message, and that's what happens on winter field day. So the macros and so forth, if you're getting ready for winter field day and you want to use PSK31, you'll need to install FLDIGI and get your macros ready. And we'll touch on this more as we go on. So FLDIGI gives you access to PSK31, but you have a general need on winter field day, and that's to log your contacts. And N3FJP software has a winter field day log. And so some things we're going to cover tonight is configuring N3FJP winter field day log for your rig. And if you interface it to your rig, it will automatically populate the mode and band that you're on. And um, and so you would use this. Certainly, you could use it for CW and SSB. When you use an FLDIGI, it would be convenient if you could take the information or the contacts in FLDIGI and put them into the N3FJP. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It's kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's got chocolate and peanut butter. So we're going to let these two programs cooperate ultimately. And this is not a step by step, but it gives you the key points for configuring these. And we're going to start out configuring the N3FJP winter field day log. You can download it from their website. There is a cost. It's about $9 for just that program, or you can pay a higher fee and use all their contest logs. But um, it's well worth it because it's very easy to use. So to get started, you would download it and take care of paying for it if you want to seriously use it for the event. Not very expensive. When it comes up, it asks you for some information of, and the key information is your class and ARRL section for winter field day. That's right in the middle there. Of course, your call sign also. For myself, I would be 1M or 1 Mobile, Alabama. So this screen is pretty easy. Now, if you use WSJT software, no, never mind. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Well, if you go to settings and rig interface, you'll get this screen, and everybody has a different kind of radio, but it will let you pick your radio on the left. The COM ports will show up, and for ICOMs, there's two COM ports, and uh, uh, you only need one of them. A particular one, you kind of have to guess which one it is. I did this setup for the ICOM 705, and it showed up on COM port 4. You can use the Windows Device Manager to see if those ports are coming up. And so this will be a little different for everybody, but you want to get your baud rate right. And um, most of this information, the defaults are fine. But here in the middle, particularly for ICOM rigs, uh, uh, each ICOM model has a code associated with it, a hexadecimal code, and it's A4 for the ICOM 705. It would be different for ICOM 7300, but you can actually change that third value to whatever your code is if it doesn't show up. So uh, it has a test here. So this isn't live. This was just a screen capture. And I did test and it read the frequency and the mode. So that was successful. So unfortunately, this is where people can get frustrated because it seems like nothing works. But if you look at your settings for your FT8 program, WSJT, um, it's probably going to use the same port and baud rate and so forth. So this is the basic uh, screen. And if you're doing phone or CW, you enter the other station's information, their call, their class, and their section as they give it to you, and then hit enter, and it will put it in the log. And my screen's cut off, but it will calculate your score as you go. It will keep up with what sections you've worked. It will flag any duplicates and so forth. So um, now the band and the mode update automatically if you've got this connected to your rig, and that's what the previous step was about. If you could put it in manually, but that's just kind of a pain to keep up with because you'll probably forget to do it, and then all those contacts will be on the wrong band and mode. All right. Well, we're going to switch gears and go to FLDIGI. Um, it can be found on SourceForge, and I drilled down to the files. There's a summary page and then a files page. And for Windows, uh, you're going to download FLDIGI. It's the whatever the latest version is, setup.exe. You can use this program on Linux, but anyway, N3FJP is Windows, so you'll probably use the Windows version. Uh, well, anyway, I downloaded it, and here's the basic screen. Uh, I've already selected the op mode of it's B PSK31, and I you probably wouldn't select the frequency at first because you haven't hooked up the rig yet, but we'll talk about that. The configuration is obviously under the configure menu selection here, and we'll hit the high points of that. Um, there's I think it will automatically open this up. There's station information you can put in that would apply to any mode you are using. Uh, this happens to be what I put in. here. And then there's the rig control. And there's several options here. I have used what they call rig cat. And I don't remember exactly how you find it, but anyway, um, there are files for the different rigs. And since I was playing around with the ICOM 705, I got the IC 705 XML file and um, put that in that box on the left. And then on the right, I'm using the same COM port and the same baud rate. Now, we'll see that it works out, but we're actually using the same port for two programs, which you would think would be a issue, but it turns out that it isn't. So, all you folks familiar with digital modes and software for your rig, this is the kind of thing you have to go through. You might, if it doesn't work, you'll need to play with the settings. But I hope it's easy for you. Sometimes it just goes very smooth. Um, it uses the codecs for your rig. And so I selected the USB audio codec, two different ones for um, the ICOM 705. So this is something you did in WSJT software also. So they call it the sound card, I think, mode. Um, so most rigs these days have the computer interface built in. Uh, with these, you'll have to do a little more work if your rig doesn't have the sound card and the codec in there. All right. Uh, this is what I showed you previously. This kind of yellowish up here is the information that it's decoding, and in the kind of blue area, it will put what you're sending. Now, I apologize, I don't have a live demo, any action here, but that's how it works. And there's a little drop down. I think this is the older version, but it will let you you select your op mode and you can select what band you want to use with one of these little buttons here. And this mode was hugely popular a couple of decades ago, so, or maybe 15 years ago. Uh, Still works. Okay, so so we went through the configuration for the log, which it's great. You could just use the log. Um, um, uh, we downloaded FLDIGI so we could get PSK31, but it would be very nice while you're using FLDIGI on PSK31 that your contacts went into the N3FJP log. And that way, your log would cover your CW, your sideband, your digital. It would all be together. And then when it's over, you can just get it to generate a file and you're done. So on the N3FJP side, Under settings, there's a server API screen. You just need to make sure that this TCP API enabled, that checkbox is checked, and uh, that's what it uses for communications with the other program. And going back to FLDIGI, uh, under under configure logging N3FJP logs, you click on that. On the left side, you get a screen, and there is a check. There is a place where you can check for it to connect. And what it's going to do is connect to N3FJP. And after you click on that, it'll stay checked and you'll get a little connected indication. So these programs are ready to work together then. Also, I would go under contest, field day, and put in your information, whether it's ARRL field day or winter field day. That would be my information. And now we're back on the FLDIGI screen, and you'll just have to trust me on this. When the information like CQ field day, N4 UVR is up, you can right click, you can put your cursor on the text, right click on it, and do call, and that will capture the other person's call sign. You can also do that for the class and section. So when you do that, it automatically sticks it into the N3FJP log. Okay. So you can bounce between the programs if you want to, but it will and when you get all the information in there, it will enter it. And I'm probably missing a step, and Chris will tell me what that is later. But
I don't know.
yeah, I think there is a macro to force it to log, to actually say I'm done with that contact, log it. So this is not a comprehensive. uh, this maybe will get you 90% there. Now, if you right click on these buttons here, it will uh, show you the default information in there, which you can modify for the winter field day contest. For example, I modified this one to do CQ winter field day, my call, my call, my call. Okay. Now on PSK31, it's okay to kind of repeat information because it doesn't have error correction and it might goof up my call on the other end. But if I do it 3 times or 2 times, they're probably going to get it. They can tell what a good call is. And all right. So people that do contests, they have that little job to do, whatever contest it is, and that is to modify their macros to match the contest. And on the next screen, this is kind of calling somebody. And these little things in the brackets uh, uh, it will pull in your call and stick it in there when it actually does this macro. So that call is the other guy's call. And this is passing the exchange. Now, when it really comes down, it's helpful to play around with this, and it's hard to know it 100% before you get into the throes of the contest. So you might have to do some tweaks to make it run smoothly. So these were macros for the different buttons. And here's kind of, I got you, good luck, 73. So this digital mode, it is quite a bit of fun. If you were casually doing it, you could tell them all kinds of information about you. But for a contest, you just want to hone it down to just what they need. Okay. Now, for several years, I would set this up. I'd watch the YouTube videos. And when I opened up in, I would open up FLDIGI, and then I'd open up N3FJP, a winter field day log. And as soon as I opened up, I got this message that I'm showing in the upper right. And it says access to the port COM4 is denied. That's because FLDIGI is using it. And I thought, oh, this means it's just not going to work. I need to call Bob Plank. He needs to bail me out, or call Chris. But I was panicking. It just turns out, yes, this will come up when you're using FLDIGI and then you open up the N3FJP, but just click on OK. It ignores this problem, and it's not really a problem, but it sure threw me for a loop because I didn't think it was going to work, but it does. And so both programs use the same port. If doing PSK31, open FLDIGI first. We've already configured them. Open FLDIGI first, then open N3FJP. You'll get this error. Click OK. Don't worry about it. And you're in business to use FLDIGI and have the information go into your N3FJP log. Okay. Now, if you're doing SSB or CW, you don't need FLDIGI, so you close that. And then when you open N3FJP, you won't get an error message. So everything is fine. So I call this our pro tip. So hopefully this will kind of give you an overview of what you're dealing with. You'll still need to hash out the details for your individual rig and so forth. So this was really our wrap up for our other winter field day. But anyway, I hope that you get familiar with what winter field day is and participate in some way. You can do it solo or a team. You can do it in the field. You can do it at home. Um, um, we won't go through all the details, but what we presented tonight is kind of the stage and rehearse part. Now, if you could do a log on paper, okay? So if you just can't get any of this stuff to work, you actually can do a log on paper. That creates a little problem when you're trying to submit it, but you can do that. So anyway, um, another thing, uh, there is a what they call an objective for using WinLink. If you already know how to use WinLink, you can meet that objective easily. If not, you're probably going to need to watch some YouTubes about configuring WinLink and get it going before the action starts. And that is all we've got on our slides. And reach out to Chris, BA3ECO, and see if you have anything to add, Chris.
Not really. It's a tricky subject, and I think you did it very well, Greg. Um, the logging program you mentioned, I think, is probably the easiest one to get onto. However, there is another one called N3FJP, and it's a little more of a learning curve, but it also interfaces with FLDIGI. The big advantage to the log and the PSK31 program being blended together is that it pops in the section that the person is from and his data automatically into the right boxes. Whereas if you otherwise you're hand logging, you've got to write all this stuff down. Or if you're using the logging ability of FLDIGI itself, it's asking for name and location, but you're actually looking for I forget what it's called, the data, um,
Well,
the class and the section, right?
class and section, yeah.
Class and section, not name and QTH. So you can sometimes pop those into those boxes and just remember it, then do some editing afterwards in the ADIF editor and get it to all work out that way. So
Yeah.
there's about three different ways to skin this cat,
Well,
and that is like paper, a regular log, and substituting or going
right.
all out and configuring it to use a
Well,
proper logger that's geared for winter field day. Is that
yeah,
right? Right, Greg?
right. And N1MM, if you're a contester, you might already be familiar with it, but it
It's tricky.
it uses a different concept. It kind of takes the FLDIGI program and eats it, so to
Yes,
speak. And all this interface is behind the scenes, and it's
yeah.
even more automated than what you've seen here. But
It does it in a different way, like Greg
yeah,
says. N1MM kind of takes a lobotomized version of FLDIGI under its wing, and all you do is start N1MM, select digital, and it pops up the FLDIGI, the lobotomized FLDIGI that it's in control of, not you. And that eliminates the COM port conflicts and stuff because you're only running one program. However, it's not the simplest program,
well,
logging program to get
well,
going.
after you figure it out, it's simple. But
What is the name of the fellow that does a YouTube video on how to configure N3FJP for winter field day?
it,
Stewart, was it? Was that his first name? Stewart? You know the guy I'm talking
oh
about, Greg.
yes, Stewart and a six call.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
just do FLDIGI N3FJP winter field day on
yeah,
a YouTube search, and you'll get a 20, I think it's about a 25 minute video where he handles everything from A to Z, nothing extra, but
yeah,
everything's there. And both Greg and I have used him as a
yeah.
resource for figuring this out because
If I'm
it's
setting it up, I have to go back to his YouTube.
wonderful. He's got several other subjects that he handles, and
Yeah.
boy,
Oh,
he's good.
he's a
Very,
pro.
very good.
Yeah.
So that's a good resource for
Well, this
sure.
is our Zoom audience tonight, and we're well. I know this was kind of the fire hose technique, but are there any questions now that we've kind
Now
of
we confused
covered?
everybody.
Yeah, confused everybody's. Yeah.
On the PSK31, when you're setting it up at the top, you have the RX SID and the TX SID. And then you put that on your transmit
Well,
uh,
uh,
when you did your macro. So what is that RX
well,
SID
that
and
was in
TX?
there by default. What it does, there's some kind of way that FLDIGI can figure out what mode is
Uh-huh.
being received because you're putting that ID in there. And frankly,
Okay.
for winter field day, you don't need that. So you can just delete those little
Yeah. Well, they're at the top of the
brackets.
they're at the top of the frame too, that you can click on those boxes and turn them on or off at any time. I didn't know what they were ever used for. I've never had to play with them, but I saw it on your
Yeah.
macro. I'm wondering, do you need to have that? So,
Uh, yeah. Well, as your text is decoded, you've got to tell it where the call is in the section and the class. So you have to do a little bit of work.
right.
Yeah.
There's a tiny bit of, I don't know if you want to call it AI in FLDIGI, and that if it sees a word that's got letters and numbers in it, it's going to assume it's the call sign. So you click on that
Yeah.
and it'll pop into the call sign box. And you've probably seen
Mm-hmm.
that already, Corey.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
if it sees a word that's just letters and click on that, I think it goes under name, if I'm
A lot
not
of times it
mistaken.
will. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
if it sees another thing with a comma in it, I think the third thing, it'll do it as QTH. And
QTH. Yeah.
if you get
And
a
state.
rhythm going, you can actually pop in the section and the class as name and QTH, as long as you're doing it consistently and run, as you said in the beginning of this adventure. Why not use the logger that comes with FLDIGI? And yes, you can do that if you're kind of careful to get the section and the class under name and QTH and keep doing it for every contact. Then when you're all done, transfer that ADIF
Yeah.
file over to send in
Mhm.
your log. You're in business. So that avoids, any of these logging programs. So that would definitely work, Corey. And I think I've done that years
Yeah.
ago, and that
Mhm.
works. That
It
does work.
it's any which way you can.
Yep.
But what happens is we steer people to N3FJP and then they say, I wish it would interface with that other program. And the answer is it will if you want to go if
The extra
it,
mile.
the extra mile, there is a
Yeah.
benefit for doing that.
Yeah.
But if you're participating in winter field day, um, you may not even use digital modes.
Yeah. You're just doing it casually.
Yeah, you may just use sideband,
I
CW.
think I've done it in some years, done voice just on paper and then done
Yeah,
FLDIGI with the FLDIGI log and then put my ADIF together. There's all kinds of ADIF editors out there. You can
yeah,
use Windows Notepad for all that matters, and sort of plunked it together. It's just a text file, right? An ADIF is just a text file.
yeah.
As long as the commas and everything are in the right
Well,
place, it's
Mhm.
you can do it with MS Word, Notepad, what have you.
well, one reason I go over this is that error message spooked me, and I just wanted to share if anybody else runs into it. So, yeah. All right. Well,
Anybody else? Question?
okay.
Who all's going to try Winter Field Day this Winter Field Day?
Good question.
You going to go,
Hopefully.
Ken? Yeah.
Yep. You can do it from home or the field or the club station or just about any scenario. Yeah. Well, at least turn your radio on and hear the big turnout for Winterfield Day, and then make a contact, just
You
one, and
don't
then you'll get
you
hooked.
you don't have to submit a log.
You don't have to. No.
Just figure out ahead of time what your class and section is and throw people some points. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap up this topic for Beginners Academy, and we'll roll it out to YouTube and We have a lot of other topics that are on the W4RYZ Panama City YouTube channel, and there's a playlist where you can get to them. And so wish you good luck on winter field day if you want to take it on. All right, 73.